Welcome to The Explainer. You know, we love to put the world under the microscope, and today we're zooming in on something you do literally every single day, but have probably never really seen: the hidden science of hello.
Okay, let's just start with one of the most common, most automatic things we do. The phone rings, we pick it up and, well, we say something just like that.
So you're probably thinking, science in a hello? Come on, it's just something we do. But today we're going to put our everyday conversations under the microscope, and I promise you, we're going to reveal a hidden world of rules, patterns, and some pretty high-stakes consequences.
All right, let's dive right in. It turns out our conversations, they kind of run on this invisible blueprint. Think of it like a conversational racetrack that we all follow, usually without even thinking about it. And this really gets to the heart of it, right? Is there really anything to gain by analyzing something we just do? Well, the science of conversation analysis, which got its start back in the 1960s, has a resounding, definitive answer. Oh, absolutely. So, researchers have actually figured out that across all sorts of languages and cultures, conversations pretty much always kick off with the same robust three-part sequence. First, you get a summons and an answer, like a phone ringing. Then you get greetings and identification. And finally, those initial inquiries, the "how are you?"
And when everyone follows these rules, when they stay on that racetrack, it looks something like this call between two friends, Hyla and Nancy. It's so smooth you barely even notice it. It's fast, it's back and forth, and honestly, it's totally mundane. Every step is hit perfectly, and it just sets the stage for a normal, friendly chat.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. What happens when someone veers off the track? Take a look at this call between Dana and Gordon. Gordon answers, and then notice what happens next. Nothing. For 7/10 of a second. And this is just a perfect example of seeing the rule by watching someone break it. That tiny 0.7-second delay, that is the first sign of trouble. It's a flashing red light that predicts this is not going to be a friendly chat. And sure enough, Dana completely skips the "how are you" and just launches right into a complaint. So here's the big takeaway from all this. Those little steps at the beginning, the hello, the "how are you," they're not just, polite fluff. They are what scientists call an interactional imperative. It means they're essential jobs that have to get done to figure out what kind of conversation we're about to have.
All right, let's dig a little deeper into that pause, because that tiny delay we just saw, it's more than just dead air. It's a powerful signal. It's not empty space at all. It is packed with data about what's coming next.
Pop culture gets this on a gut level. Just think about this classic scene from the movie Frozen. Anna asks a simple yes or no question, and she's obviously hoping for a quick, reassuring answer. But what does she get back? 2 full seconds of silence. Now, in the world of conversation, that is an absolute eternity. And that silence says so much before a single word is even spoken.
And Olaf the Snowman, he basically turns into a conversation analyst right here. He nails it. He points out that the delay, the timing, tells you everything you need to know about whether Kristoff's no is actually genuine. The real story is in the silence.
Okay, so this all works because of something that's basically the engine of all conversation: adjacency pairs and the idea of preference. A first part, like a question, opens up a slot for a second part, like an answer. And here's the really key thing. Preference here doesn't mean what someone psychologically wants to do. It's about the structure. A delay almost always predicts a dispreferred response, like a rejection or some bad news. Actually, these kinds of no answers, these dispreferred responses, are so structured, you can practically see them coming a mile away. It's almost like a formula. You get the delay, then a little softener like well or maybe an appreciation like thanks, but, and then an excuse. It's a totally predictable way we deliver bad news. Okay, so now we get to the real payoff. Why does any of this matter? Well, this science can totally change outcomes in the real world. We're not just talking about friendly chats anymore. This can be life or death stuff. Let's take a look at a really common situation in a doctor's office, where getting all the right information is absolutely critical. Doctors know patients often have more than one thing going on, but they don't always speak up about all of them. So a really groundbreaking study decided to compare these two questions. On the surface, they look almost exactly the same, right? The standard way they taught in medical school was to ask about anything else. But these researchers had a hunch that that one little word might be tilting the scales.
And just look at this difference. It's staggering. By changing one single word from any, which kind of leans negative, to some, which leans positive, they nearly doubled the number of patients who brought up all of their medical concerns, from 50% to an incredible 90%. That is the power of one word.
And this isn't just a one-off thing in medicine. This principle works everywhere. In a crisis negotiation, asking someone if they're willing to speak gets less resistance than asking them to talk. In mediation, asking if someone is willing to participate gets way more buy-in than asking if they're interested in it. These aren't just synonyms. They're precision tools with huge consequences.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's that conversation isn't just noise. It's not random. It's this incredibly high-precision instrument. And the cool thing is, now you can start to see the code behind it.
By getting a handle on this science, you've basically got a new lens to see your entire social world through. You can see the blueprint. You know that silence is data, and you know that tiny little word changes can have huge results. What we all just do is actually this amazing complex science operating right under our noses.
So this isn't just about analyzing other people's conversations. It's about understanding this incredibly powerful tool that you yourself use every single day. So the real question I want to leave you with is, now that you can see the code, what are you going to build with it?